Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I'm here with Alex again. Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good. I'm in my Fallout shelter.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's perfect because today I brought you here to talk about the Fallout TV show. I
That- you
I
just
finally got
finished
around to
it.
finishing it. Yes, it took me forever, but we finally did it. You know what happened was I think Ashley finally got hooked, like, as we were nearing the end of the season, and then suddenly she was like, "Hey, let's watch the next episode. I really wanna see what happens." I'm like, "Yeah, I do too. Let's do it." So then we banged out, like, 4 episodes over 4 nights. We just watched it back to back, and, yeah,
It-
it's a really good show. It's a really good show. Great
Lindsay was
recommendation.
Lindsay was hooked like instantly, and she doesn't play video games or doesn't really know anything about Fallout. She knows that I play it sometimes, and she had a bunch of questions while we're watching it. But episode one, we were hooked. I think we watched 2 episodes Friday, 2 episodes Saturday, and then the last four on Sunday. We are just,
Yeah.
but also we binge in this house, like I just started watching House of the Dragons, and I watched all four
Really?
episodes today that are
Okay,
out.
yeah. So that is also one of the reasons Ashley was pushing me because she wanted to watch that, and I'm like, "Yeah, we'll finish Fallout and then we'll watch House of the Dragons." She's like, "Well, I want to see what happens," but the beauty is now we can watch those 4 episodes and then we'll be caught up before the end of the season. So,
Yeah, uh, it really starts getting good. I think episode four.
okay. All right.
So
Interesting. I'm cautiously um optimistic about House of the Dragons. It makes me nervous because I really feel screwed over by Game of Thrones, and you're the whole reason I got into that show. And I got into it because of you, and I thought it was awesome. And I was waiting the whole series to find out about the White Walkers. And then my favorite character gets ruined in the last season, and they're like, "Yeah, we're done."
yeah,
So now
no, you
House of the
weren't the only one who
Dragons
got
is,
screwed. When I recommended it to you, I was still like, I still haven't finished it. I don't think, or maybe I did, but it was one of the greatest shows ever.
yeah,
And then and then they killed it so hard.
yeah, they just totally stopped trying.
Off topic. Let's get back to Fallout.
Sure, sure, sure.
Uh, what did you think? Like the characters, the plot. Did you think it was silly? Did you like? Who's your favorite character?
It was kind of silly, and that's something Ashley picked up on too when we were watching it. She was like, "Did why is that overseer wearing his sea collar backwards?" Like, well, Ashley, it's because they're stupid. They've been isolated in this vault. And their doctors are trained by the sons of other doctors that they've been in this vault for generations. They don't really know what they're doing.
Well,
They're
the Fallout the suit zips up on the back. Oh
yeah.
wait, you're talking about the doctor.
I the seat collar because they had the one guy had like a broken neck or something in
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah. I was
episodes, so
thinking
he was
like
wearing that.
I yeah I misunderstood you. I was thinking like why does it? I thought she said they were wearing their jumpsuits backwards. Like,
Well,
no, that's just how they wear them.
yeah,
Like,
she was what she's like. Well, why is he wearing it like that? Like because they don't know what they're doing. That's the whole joke. It's like the vault dwellers are totally
yeah,
blindsided by everything going on in the real world. They don't know how to do things. And, once she realized that, she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she started getting into it more because she's like, "Okay, yeah, these people are they're just not very bright, you know?"
they're trying
And,
their best.
yeah, they're trying their best, they're trying to be good people, but god, are they clueless.
Yeah,
Um, God, so, how do you wanna handle this? Should we go into spoilers right off the bat? I mean, anybody watching this at this point, the show's
yeah.
been out for so long now.
Let's start with like just
Because the
all right.
thing
What do you think of the plot? Like the whole storytelling. The because this happens kind of in the video games. Because in
Mhm.
Fallout 3, there I'm getting all mixed up now. Fallout 1, the plot of that one was you're in your vault, everything's fine, but the water chip breaks, that's why you have to leave. Fallout 2, You are the chosen one. You are like the chosen one. You're like the descendant of the guy from the first game. Some bad shit happens, forces you to leave the vault. Because I think it's the Enclave. Because I haven't played those games in a while.
Yeah.
So each game, kind of like something bad happens, and that is the
Makes them
thrust
leave the
into an
vault.
adventure. So,
Right.
like, what did you think of those people at the beginning? They come into the vault, they have the wedding, they mess everything up, like just mess everyone up. What was your
Yeah.
thought?
I mean, I didn't looking back on it now, it's totally obvious, like, Raiders, I've played, my favorite game being, Fallout Shelter. I'm very familiar with Raiders, they break into the vault all the time, they try to steal all your stuff, they just wreck everything. But, I should have seen that coming, but I didn't. But once the show started, I really liked how they had it laid out. You had kind of mentioned that you're kind of back and forth between these 3 different protagonists, and I really like how they handle that because it does otherwise, I don't know how else you would see that. Like, if you were looking at the whole world through the eyes of Lucy,
Right.
it would be hard to fit all that into one season, and then you'd be strung out like, okay, yeah, we saw one ghoul or a small faction of ghouls, or maybe the Brotherhood came in at the end of season 1 or something, but I felt like we got to spend a lot of time with all of the different parts of Fallout in the first season. I thought that was cool.
I thought it was a great idea. It allows you to see the different, just well, like people say, it's like the different play styles and stuff, different builds, and just
Yeah.
gives you more of the world building faster.
Yeah.
Um, so here's the thing, though. Me and Lindsay talked about. I think even after like the Raiders invaded, because when Lucy's brother goes over and investigates the other vault, and everyone's dead.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Raiders. They killed themselves.
Yes. Yes. I don't
So
know how the Raiders so they committed suicide. Maybe I missed that part. How did they get into that vault? Because it
okay.
it did seem like, yeah, they killed
So
themselves.
this is a spoiler. I'll try to save some of the bigger spoilers for the end. But basically, there are three vaults. It's like a triangle. There's three
Yeah.
vaults that are interconnected, but they are basically on their own. And the only time that they communicate with each other is when they need to send people to each other, like because like it's an enclosed environment, so like the gene pool gets a little thin. So like we're gonna trade some people to make sure there's no inbreeding.
Yeah.
Um, well, Vault, I think it was 33. Everyone's dead. Everyone found out a terrible secret and they killed themselves. So, uh, but the Raiders, someone from Vault 32 left, and the Raiders knew
Okay.
that person from Vault
Oh, that's right.
32,
But
and
how
she
did
got the
they
access key from her, and that's how they got into the Vault 32 because they had basically like they had the access key to get in because someone from inside the vault escaped and
and
betrayed Vault 32.
okay, that makes it I remember now because, I mean, we should probably just say who that person is, right?
Yeah, sure. Lucy's
So,
mom.
Lucy's mom leaves. That's where she meets, what's her name? Moldover?
Yeah,
She
yeah,
meets her, they come back to take revenge on her dad,
yeah. Because
and
her
then that's
dad
the
is
whole
the
reason they
one.
broke it. Okay, yeah,
Because her
that's fine.
dad's the one that punished Lucy's mom, and it affected everyone.
Dude,
Um, yeah,
when we got to the end and they were sitting there in that, because leading up into the last couple of episodes, Ashley had it pegged that she's like, the ghouls, wife and daughter are still gonna be alive. They're gonna be somewhere, we're gonna find them. And I'm like, "No, I don't think so. I don't that doesn't." I mean, look at how he looks, if they're still alive, they would look so messed up and not right. Uh, so I didn't believe that we would find them, and maybe we'll see them in season 2. I hope not. Honestly, like, as sad as this sounds, I hope they're dead because that would be it's
that's the way
almost too happy of an ending for
the way
him,
of the
you know?
wasteland kind of thing.
Yeah, he needs a bad ending. He needs a or maybe like a moment of redemption or something where he dies, but I don't think he could just get his whole family back and then it's like, "Yeah, look, my dad, you're still alive. You look like a zombie. What the heck happened to you? You look terrible. You're
I
horrifying now."
I I think the daughter's alive. I think the wife is probably dead, but I think the daughter's alive, and she's gonna be either like his age, like she's gonna be a full adult. I think, like,
Mhm.
is my guess. I'm guessing maybe she somehow got cryogenically because there's no way. Because that, I mean, there's a couple plot holes in the show, or just unexplained things like people don't know if Vaultec caused the end of the world because if Vaultec knew that the bombs were coming, there's no way she would have let her daughter go to a birthday party with Cooper
Yeah.
because like they wouldn't be safe.
She
And
was with them at the party, right? That's
no,
my whole reason for thinking that no?
no, she wasn't because they're divorced.
At that point, they were divorced?
So at that point, so when you see him, so at the beginning of the show, when he's doing that birthday party, they're like, he is a washed up actor and he's divorced. Because they
Oh.
said, how did you get um, Cooper Howard or whatever his name is to be at your birthday party, son's birthday party? He's like, well, I mean, kind of need money after a divorce, kind of thing. So like they're
Okay.
saying like he's
Yeah,
washed up, and they like then they called him like I think they called him a commie or if I remember correctly. So
okay.
so he's
That makes sense.
so he got divorced. He has no money, and he's just trying to like he's trying to survive. And like
And that's why he was there, and they were trying to take his picture, like, "Yeah, do the thing, give us a
yeah,
thumbs up." He's like, "Yeah, I don't
so
all things considered, I don't think that's really appropriate." I really like the Ghoul. The Ghoul was a cool dude.
he's probably the best character. I think it's him. Uh, Maxim is good. I think he's the funniest because some
Yeah.
of the stuff he says, like when he's I think when they're talking about like having sex servers, like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
not me, but I heard other people that like stuff comes out when they like it pops like a pimple, and I'm like,
Yeah,
and
dude.
or when Maxon is in the when they get into the other vault, and Maxon like finds like has running water, a hot shower, he has oysters and like all
Yeah.
this other food, and he's just loving it, and he's
Yeah,
just like,
he's sitting there with the white fuzzy thing on. I really thought there was, in a way, they play him up as like this big stupid character, but it also makes him super relatable because it's like this guy did not have an education. He was literally like out there surviving. Like the first person he found, he went and joined their group to not die.
yeah,
It makes you kind of feel for the dude when they play it up for comedic effect, but it's like, yeah, he would have no idea. He's in a cult and they don't let him have sex and they just make him work his whole life and he's just trying to stay alive. So I
um,
they kept doing stuff like that and I appreciated it. They
yeah,
did it with
real. It was like
respect and they did it
realistic.
in a way that made sense.
All right, let's. Oh, God. I wish we had more structure, but we're just free flowing it.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
easy breezy.
Special effects I thought were phenomenal. The thing that well, one, I'm a huge Fallout fan, so I was gonna watch it anyway. But the thing that hooked me and told everyone else to watch it was the opening nuclear explosions.
Oh
When
yeah.
when they're at that birthday party and he goes, "Dad, is it your thumb or mine?" And she's like going like this, and he sees like, "Oh no, that's just a fire. That's just a wildfire." And it's like it keeps going up and up,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh no!" And it pans out, and you see the shockwave coming, and like you see it pans out to inside the house, and you see everyone watching TV, and then you see those two standing outside, and then like the nuclear explosion. That's like that was one of my favorite memes for a while.
Yeah, dude. It was that was chilling. When we were sitting there watching it, I watched it with my dad, and that hooked him too. He watched like I went to bed. I watched one episode that first night, and he went on and watched 4 of them in a row. So he was totally hooked. Because yeah, that's a great opening scene. Like, what better way to sell Fallout to somebody than show them that? Like,
Exactly.
that's what the show is about. That's what started it all. It's horrifying. Now you live in the aftermath of that, and this is the world that's left. And what are those big lizard bugs, or not the bugs, but the big lizard monsters?
That came out of the water when they're like fishing.
Not no, not in those. Those are kind of like salamanders or something,
Yeah,
like
those
a
are groupers.
irradiated set. What are the in the games? What are they called? The big death claws.
Death
We didn't see
claws.
any
Oh
death claws.
no, but there was a Deathclaw skull in the credits after the season finale when he was going to Vegas.
We're probably going to see that next season, right? Do you think we're going to see a death claw, or is it
I
not?
mean, I think a Deathclaw would be very interesting to see, considering they had trouble against a Yaoguai, which is like that hairless bear. Sorry about that. I should silence my phone.
A Yagwai?
Yaoguai. So remember when Maxim was with the paladin Titus,
Oh yeah,
and
and
they met
Titus
that
got
bear in the cave? That's a
yes.
Yaoguai. They're called.
Okay, yeah, that's the one part I'm wondering how much of this we'll see in the next season, but they're they're doing some stuff like Shady Sands is all from the first and second game, right?
Yep,
That's the
and New Vegas.
headquarters of the New California Republic.
Yeah. So it's a yeah. So during, I just watched this a little. Oh, I just watched a Lore Dump video on the NCR.
Yeah.
So I'll have to send you the link to it. But it's pretty good. And it talks about the history of Shady Sands and all their presidents, and it talks about like their political strife, basically. And it's all based on like video games.
Okay.
But uh, by the time New Vegas is happening, they have tried to expand into the Mojave for a while, and their second president has died, and they've been having trouble with every president after, because the first
Mm.
two were like such legends and had so much legacy that it was basically, it wasn't a democracy, it was a dictatorship. Whatever the president said happened. But
Yeah.
after that second president died, every other president didn't have that power, so Congress took over and kind of fucked up the system, and like basically kept giving land and money to these Brahmin barons, and like basically the country was collapsing in on itself because it couldn't support itself, because everyone was either, you were either the Brahmin baron or you were working for the Brahmin baron, and if you or you were in the army, kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, so they were already like super unstable, which sucks because they were like during like their first 50 or 60 years of existence, it was basically a city. Like they said that they were manufacturing old world technology and stuff. They had transportation, they had cars, and like they were like actual society was being built.
Yeah.
And but then after a while, they started crumbling because war never changes, people don't change, and they were trying to use old world government and technology and blah blah blah. And they said that's what corrupted them, kind of thing. But yeah, so at some point though, after New Vegas, because we don't know what the canon ending of New Vegas is, because like the developers never said, but we
Yeah.
might find out in the next season. But at
Okay.
some point, regardless of what happened in New Vegas, Shady Sands was nuked. So
But those are not the same areas, right? That's what I was trying to look up because as they were talking about Shady Sands, I don't have any kind of reference to that. I just know like basically the titles of the games and a couple little points from each game. Like Fallout 3, there's what is it, Nuketown, where there's the bomb and you can either blow it up
oh,
or
Megaton,
keep it. Megaton.
yeah.
So, I know a few things like that, but Shady Sands is not New Vegas. Are they close to each other
No,
or
Shady Sands is I can't exactly remember it. It's a city. It was like I think it's like it's somewhere. It's in California. Shady Sands is in California because L.A. is Necropolis, if I believe, where it's just like basically where all the ghouls and super mutants live, and like you
Mm,
can't live there because it got hit so bad with nuclear weapons. Um,
that's crazy.
but Shady Sands, because they had the Garden of Eden creation kit, they were able to create a utopia kind of thing.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. It. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next season? What are we
they're
looking
going to
at
New.
now?
They have to be going to Vegas. So I think the first episode or two is going to be them trying to figure out what the hell happened and make up a plan and then go for. So I think first two episodes are still going to be in California. I think then like two more episodes are going to be like traveling to like because it's a long walk or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's going to take them a little bit. So you're probably going to get some stuff about them traveling together. And then the last four episodes are going to be like discovering Vegas, learning what the hell happened here, like getting a feeling for it and stuff. I think that's how it's going to play out.
Okay. Because right now, Titus, or not Titus, Maximus and Lucy are separated again. Lucy is now going with the ghoul of her own accord. She's not being held against her will this time.
Right.
Moldaver is dead. They have cold fusion now. What does that mean for the Fallout universe? Is that like
It
that
is
seems like that's
unlimited
pretty
power.
crazy to
Yeah.
because
I'm
this takes
guessing the
place
Brotherhood of
earlier than
Steel is
other
going to take
games in the
over.
series, right?
What?
This movie or the show takes place earlier than other games, or is this
No.
after the games? What was the layout
Uh,
again?
oh,
This is
see
the
here.
newest thing in the Fallout universe?
It's newer. It's newer than, or I should say, it takes place after New Vegas. So I think it takes place. I'm gonna look up the timeline.
Yeah, that was my biggest question is like if they really have cold fusion, that's like a total game changer for this world and it's they either have to lose it or maybe they just forget about it because I guess the Brotherhood went into
Yeah,
that room. Did they realize what they had
The
then?
Fallout TV show takes place after every video game.
Okay, so this is totally uncharted ground. So they have cold fusion now, could potentially bring back the US. That's got to be a major plot point for the next season, right? The Brotherhood of
Yeah.
Steel has unlimited power, cold fusion. They're going to have all of these super powered power suits.
Well, I mean, what? So I think part of it also then is they're going to be cutting. I think the same thing is going to happen though. They're going to be cutting between characters. So I think Lucy and Ghoul will be traveling there
Yeah.
to Vegas, and that's going to be their story arc. I think Maxon's gonna stay near the cold fusion reactor kind of thing.
He's
I think
going to
we're gonna
have
find
kind of
out
a
more. I
depressing
think we're gonna
time because I don't see them finding each other again early on. Like, if anything, maybe at the end of season 2, they find each other again,
maybe they don't
but
find each other at all.
they're going to have to. There's no
That
way.
might be season three where they might not reunite till season three.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I just don't see like they're building these two up as these two
Couple.
mega love interests. In a way, like if I
I
was
mean,
writing the show, I would write it so that they never see each other again because the US is so big and once it's not like they can text people or GPS locate where you're at. Like how are you going to how could you possibly find them? You know, I guess the only reason he knew where she was is because that's where they were going to take the chip or the
yeah,
head, you know. But now that they're separated, who unless they have a common enemy or something that leads them back together, they're
yeah.
I don't
So
see
I
how
think
that's
the
possible.
brother. Well, so I think we're gonna learn more about the Brotherhood of Steel because this Brotherhood of Steel is kind of what it used to be like, but like I don't know. There's theories that the Brotherhood of Steel like joined up with the Legion.
Hmm. And what is the Legion?
The Legion is a It's another group from New Vegas, and uh they were was it 58 tribes of like raiders and other people, like 58 tribes that were conquered and formed into one unit, and they based their society off of ancient Rome.
Really?
Caesar's Legion.
That's kind of cool. It's
Yeah,
weird, but it's kind of cool.
Hail Kaiser. Or
What did you had mentioned that experiment before we go here. So the experiment was just the fact that have they made mention to Bud's Buds before, or is this new to the show?
no, that's just a TV show. But I mean, people have been wondering about Vault-Tec for a while now. Like they have to have like a master vault or something, like a headquarters. Because like I think the vault, if I remember correctly, or the Vault-Tec's plan was to use these experiments was to create these vaults, test people to understand basically isolation, because they wanted to build basically colonize like basically what is it called, generational ships. They wanted
Yeah.
spaceships that go out for generations to find new planets. So that's what the tests were for. And
Hmm.
so like there has to be somewhere in the US or maybe somewhere in the world a Vault-Tec headquarters where they're manufacturing like giant massive spaceships for internet for intergalactic travel.
Yeah. See, in the show, they just made it seem like it was just, oh yeah, evil corporations doing evil corporation stuff. We're gonna just, in that whole scene where they were like discussing all of the different. Oh yeah, we could have one vault led totally by scientists, or one vault that does this, or that was
Well,
actually that
so
was pretty dark. That was pretty
that
messed up.
one that was just for funding though. Like they're like we can sacrifice some of these vaults because we need more funding and more support and technology. So I
So
think
they
that
were
was
not
like,
all totally vault tech. Like some are like vault tech adjacent, where it's like, yeah, we're
well,
giving you
yeah,
the
because like
structure.
some
You
was
guys can
Robco,
do.
some was West Tech, one was Big Mountain and stuff, and they're all like these were all titans of industry and science at the time before the bombs fell. So I'm guessing Vault-Tec wanted access to their data or technology and other stuff. So that's why they're like, yeah, come do whatever the fuck you want. Give us funding. We need to expand more. We need more vaults. So
Yeah, it was a little like that part kind of broke my belief a little bit. Where it's like, yeah, I guess I don't know. I just don't see like corporations actually do it. Like for me, that's where it's like, okay, this is a little bit of a stretch. Where everything else I felt like was pretty good within the lines that they were like
you say
creating
that,
within,
but
but
Ford Industries, when they made the Pinto, it had a faulty gas tank that, when in a collision, it would ignite and kill everyone on board on a rear end collision. And they did the math and they said it was cheaper just to pay out the lawsuits than it is to recall all the cars.
yeah, but I I know what you mean. Like I'm sure there are other examples like that where they have discovered things that are it's easier to just like ignore it and ask for forgiveness later than to go back and fix it. But like to purposefully sign up a group of people to some kind of like hellish torture for no reason. It's like
The
that's kind of dark.
the U.S.
That's kind of
government said that they were treating people with syphilis, and they weren't because they wanted to see what the side effects of syphilis was.
oh god. Well,
That
that's the
actually happened.
government. That's
Yeah,
the government. Yeah, yeah.
that's people.
Crazy guys. Yeah. People are crazy. But this was a great show. I really liked it. I guess we're here now. We discussed the show. Now we're gonna move out into Fallout 76. I beat Elden Ring yesterday, so we're all ready to
Congratulations.
go. We just gotta fire up all the engines and get this going. I'm curious to see more about the world of Fallout. So the show's got me hooked. I'm looking forward to season 2. Maybe when season 2 comes out, which it's inevitably going to come out. The show did so good. I don't know if they've come out with a date yet, but we will definitely cover it here. But
The thing, so the reason why we're doing 76, even though it's not the most popular one, is I wanted to play with him. Like I wanted to play, and like that's the only multiplayer one they have co-op. Um, I have seen mods where people play together, but I don't know if one, I don't know how to do that, how to mod the game to do that, to allow it to do that, and two, I don't know if that's LAN or if you could do it.
oh yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
I think that's fair. Fallout 76 is like their current active Fallout game. They're still developing for it. That's the newest and best one, or it's not. Depending on who you
yeah,
talk to, it's not the best one, but it's the newest one. That's what they made. We'll give it a shot. We'll see how it is. I'm very curious. Yeah.
I might subscribe to Fallout first, or maybe have you do it because you get a lot of free gear when you subscribe. But then you also get a private world, and then I don't have to worry about Tyler shooting
Uh,
every other PC that we come
well,
across.
that was just a learning. That was just a test
Yeah,
run. We were just figuring things
yeah.
out.
Tyler,
No,
stop
no,
shooting that
no
guy who's
stakes.
giving us free crap.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of bogus. I couldn't shoot that guy. Just random
Um,
fire, but I guess that's
it's kind
fine.
of like Skyrim, RuneScape, where there's a level cap, so you can't interact unless
Okay.
you're within a certain level. Just so people don't like grief everyone, because that's like that was also another problem right away too. Is like people leveled up real quick, and as people were coming out of the vaults, they were just getting wiped.
That's awesome. I love good old fashioned griefing. That's so much fun. But yeah. So stay tuned. We're going to be covering Fallout 76 on the channel here. This has been our video on the Fallout TV show. Great show. Definitely go watch it. I really enjoyed it. Ashley liked it. My dad liked it. Alex liked it. So very good. Yeah.
Lindsay
Do
liked
you have
it.
anything else you want to say?
No, that's all I got.
All right. That's all, folks. Until next time. We'll see you later. This video is brought to you by your support on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/GrouchyGus94 to help support the channel.